Did you know that kids are having nearly 3 times more sugar than they should? So when Pomegreat got in touch with us and asked us to take part in a sugar-free families challenge, I couldn't wait to give it a try. So for the past week, we've been making changes to reduce the amount of sugar in our diet. You may have heard of the sugar tax. Well, it came into effect in April this year, and it's helping to address childhood obesity, and it's taking steps to encourage drinks companies to make their drinks healthier. Pomegreat fully supports the sugar tax, and its products help to make reducing the amount of sugar in your diet that little bit easier. It's a great substitute for sugary juices, and it's sweetened naturally using stevia, so it's perfect for the whole family. So if you'd like to see how we got on with our sugar-free families challenge, then keep watching. It is day 1 of our sugar-free families challenge with Pomegreat, and I'm really excited to get going. So I'm about to make my breakfast, and I thought I would just show you the ways that I'm planning to reduce the amount of sugar in mine and the kids' breakfasts every day. Dan doesn't really eat breakfast most days, which isn't healthy in itself, but he just doesn't get hungry. It's easy to eat a breakfast full of sugar without really thinking too much about it by eating cereal and things like that, so I'm going to be making a real effort to cut down on that kind of thing this week. So most mornings I have porridge for breakfast, and I tend to sweeten it with maple syrup, which isn't as bad as adding spoons of sugar or using those instant oats that have tons of sugar in them. But for this week, I'm going to try and just add sweetness using fresh fruit or dried fruit or something like that. And I will be putting a spoonful of nut butter on top, which is something I always do. But I've chosen one that doesn't have any added sugar. I'm trying to completely cut sugar out of my diet this week, but with the kids, I'm just trying to reduce the amount that they eat rather than cut it out altogether. So for the kids, I've avoided sugary cereals and chosen these raisin wheats. The raisins add a natural sweetness without any added sugar, which is great. As an alternative for breakfast on the weekends, I'll sometimes make them a smoothie, which is just sweetened with fruit. It's day 2 and I'm feeling really good. Today I'm going to be concentrating on drinks, and I must admit one of the first things that I was concerned about when I took on the challenge was my morning coffee. I have always had sugar in coffee, and if I make it myself I'll put 1 in, but I'm fairly sure if my husband makes it for me, which is most mornings, he puts a very large spoonful of sugar in there because it always tastes sweeter when he does it. Yesterday morning my coffee was okay. We had it without any sugar at all. I did think about looking into alternative sweeteners, but after doing a bit of research, there were pros and cons to most of them. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna try and go cold turkey with no sugar at all in my coffee or tea. And it was okay, but this morning, it actually tasted really nice. I didn't feel like I missed the sugar. Maybe slightly, but nowhere near as much as I did yesterday morning on the first day. So I'm really pleased. I'm also concentrating today on what the kids are drinking. So they take water to school, which is great, and they drink that throughout the day and refill their water bottles if they need to. Then in the evening with their dinner, they usually have some form of fruit juice or squash, but this week we are trying out the pomegranate juice, and they had it last night and they really liked it. So it's day 3 of our sugar-free families challenge, and have a look at what I found this morning. This was not open when I went to bed last night. Admittedly, it was a bit silly of me to leave chocolate in the fridge for all to see, but I have a fairly good guess as to who the culprit is. What do you have to say for yourself?
It attacked me and I had to bite it.
Self-defense, you're claiming?
It was self-defense. If I hadn't bitten it, it was trying to suffocate me. It doesn't really count because I don't remember.
Anyway, on that note, today I thought I would share with you the 3 snacks that have been keeping me going when I've had moments where I really need to eat something sweet. The first one is probably my absolute favourite, and it doesn't look all that appetizing, but trust me, it is absolutely delicious, and it is medjool dates. I didn't think I liked dates particularly on their own until this week. I used to bake with them to try and be a bit healthier occasionally, but never really eat them on their own. But I remember seeing somebody put peanut butter with them and saying that that was a really good combination, so I thought I would give that a try, and honestly, it is absolutely delicious and something that I will continue to eat after we're done with this challenge because it's so much healthier than half a packet of biscuits and just as satisfying, so that is a really good one. The second one isn't very groundbreaking, but it really does help me when I feel like I need some sugar. So I've just made up a mason jar with some cashew nuts and some raisins and it's just an easy to grab snack that when I'm feeling like I could do with eating something or I just fancy something a bit sweet, I can grab a handful and I'm good to go. The third one is my secret weapon in the evening. I always get a bit of a sweet tooth just before bed, and that is the worst time to be eating anything sugary or chocolate or cake or anything like that. So this has been really helping me out. It is simply frozen grapes. I like just regular grapes, but something about putting them in the freezer just transforms them into something that little bit more exciting. I really feel like I'm having a treat when I eat them, and because they're so cold and quite hard, it takes a while to eat them as well, so you don't have loads and loads, it's just enough to make you feel like you've had something sweet. It's day 4 and it's lunchtime, so I thought I would show you the kind of lunches I've been having to keep me full for the rest of the afternoon and to stop me reaching for that biscuit jar at 3 p.m, which is definitely what I would have done before we started this challenge. So today's lunch is quinoa with loads of chopped up veg. I've got olives, tomatoes, spring onions, avocado, beetroot, a poached egg and some piri piri hummus on the side. And Marnie's having hummus for lunch, aren't you? Look at your hummus face. Uh-oh. So most days for lunch I've either had a salad or some sort of grain like couscous or quinoa with lots of fresh vegetables and sometimes a poached egg on the side as well. It's a beautiful day today, so Marnie and I are walking into town to get some bits and pieces for tonight's dinner. So I thought I would share with you the things that we have been having for dinner this week and what changes I've had to make to cut sugar out of those meals. To be honest, with the evening meals, I haven't found it too much of a challenge so far this week because we do tend to eat a lot of fresh food. I cook a lot from scratch, and yeah, we've just continued as we would normally, but I've just been more conscious to check that things don't include sugar. But where it has been more difficult is with things like sauces, and the kids like baked beans on occasion, and obviously the sugar in those, and ketchup. There's definitely sugar in ketchup. So it's just being aware that those things do contain sugar and cutting those out. So tonight we are having some chicken pita breads with salad with some little mini roast potatoes that I like to make, and the kids really love them. And I think we're going to have that with corn on the cob and some hummus on the side. We also had a stir fry the other night for dinner, so where I might usually buy a sauce to add in with the veg and the noodles, I just made my own, and I used soy sauce and sesame oil. And I know soy sauce does contain some sugar, but it's a lot less than we would have had if we'd used a store-bought sauce. So that's the kind of thing that we've been doing for our evening meals this week. I've also been trying to limit the kids after dinner treats, and one of their favourites from this week has been making ice lollies out of the pomegranate juice. They really enjoy these. Sometimes we put fresh fruit in too. They've been a big hit. So that's it, we've come to the end of our sugar-free week, and I just wanted to say a big thank you to Pomegreat for challenging us to do this. It really has made me think twice about how much sugar was in our diet, how much sugar was hidden inside drinks and fruit juices, and things that you don't necessarily expect would have added sugar. So I'm really pleased that we took on this challenge, and we've definitely made some changes to our diet that we will be continuing with. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you in my next one. Marnie, say bye! No. Yay! Bye bye!